My beloved child, listen closely this morning. Your name was spoken as a gentle melody woven among countless songs. You are not forgotten. Rather, those of your eternal household have risen to speak of you with pride and expectation. I want you to know this is not a fleeting call, not an empty compliment, but the sign of a plan arranged from the beginning, a love I planted into your very being before you were formed. Take a moment of stillness and open the ears of your soul. When your name is spoken, streams of quiet grace follow like dawn breaking through a narrow crack, scattering every mist of anxiety within you. I do not speak simply to soothe. I speak to awaken a promise that waits to be fulfilled in your life. The whispers of your ancestors in heaven are testimony. They see in you a seed, a capacity, a destiny unknown to the world. And together with them I will cause that seed to grow. Do not misunderstand, my child. This naming is not a command of force, but an invitation brimming with grace. I invite you into a place where your name shines not for yourself, but for my glory. As you respond, your steps will fall in rhythm with heaven. Even paths you cannot yet see will be revealed, and I will go before you to prepare the way, shielding you from hidden snares. I know there are moments when your heart trembles, wondering whether you are worthy. Beloved, worthiness is not what I require before giving grace. Rather, grace itself creates worthiness. You are called not because you are flawless, but because I gave you a promise, and I am faithful to complete it. The ancestors of heaven have risen to bear witness for you. They do not affirm what is false. They have seen your silent choices, your hidden tears, and they cry out, "Guard this one, for within lies a sacred duty." I hear their cry with my whole heart. Let your heart be stirred with hope. Do not allow fear to choke the invitation. When you lift your voice in prayer and open your hands in surrender, the gates of heaven crack open to pour abundance not only upon you, but upon all whom you will touch. My grace for you will exceed what you can imagine, not in a showy manner, but in a transforming way, first shaping you, then reshaping the course of your life. What you once thought were limits will become launching pads. Wounds will be healed and turned into testimonies that strengthen many. Understand, child, that this call seeks a response, not one of formality, but of genuine offering from the heart. That response may be a simple prayer, a decision to realign your steps, an unseen act of kindness. Each small response carries a weight in the spirit realm. It partners with grace, unlocking resources that heaven has long reserved for you. Do not despise small beginnings. Within them, great destinies are forged. Do not fear the murmurs of doubt from outside, or the shadows of old battles stirring within. I have stationed angels to guide you, to comfort and uphold you along every road. When you waver, remember the unseen hands lifting you. When you are weary, recall the whispered prayers in heaven rising for you. Even when thorns press against your path in those very trials, I am forging strength within you, breathing resilience to endure, and causing your name to resound more powerfully than before. Let the proclamation of your name in heaven become nourishment for your soul each day. When you awaken, whisper to me with gratitude, "Thank me for seeing you, thank me for calling you, thank me for the eternal witnesses who have stood to testify on your behalf." And when you rest at night, let that promise console you, driving away loneliness and reminding you that you are part of a story far greater than yourself. Living in that awareness will give meaning to each action you take, turning every gift you offer into a seed of blessing sown into the garden of life. Finally, my beloved, I give you a vow: I will not allow this calling to fall into emptiness. If you place your trust fully, you will witness grace that surpasses every expectation, sometimes through sudden victories, sometimes through the warm counsel of a friend, sometimes by an opportunity arriving like a miracle. Walk in that faith. Answer with all your heart. Your name has been lifted up, and I, together with the ancestors in heaven, will turn that voice into deeds that bring blessing to many. My dear child, those who are dear to you in eternity, those who walk this earth before you, do not simply mention your name and move on. They watch over you, they uphold you, they weave together intercessions that I receive. In that sacred silence, they see your journey under a light the natural eye cannot yet perceive. They recognize streams of blessing, the bends of trial, and the breakthroughs being prepared in quiet. I want you to behold what they see your life is not a series of scattered events, but a canvas painted by the hand of the Creator. Every sorrow you have endured, I call it the glaze that strengthens the character within you. Every joy you have held, I transform into seeds that will sprout through your hands. Every moment you choose the upright path over the easy one, that is a stitch added to the tapestry, which I and the saints are carefully completing. They see not only the outcomes but also the courage you surrender in each small movement, and they rejoice as they witness me responding with grace. Do not let your heart grow weary too quickly when you do not yet see the flowers bloom. There are seasons when heaven must take time to nourish the roots in secret. There are works of mine that do not display themselves outwardly but quietly lay down an unshakable foundation. The ancestors in heaven do not rejoice over fleeting triumphs, but because they behold endurance. They see the frequency of your life resonating with my will. They see how fragments that now appear scattered will one day unite to reveal a wondrous blessing. Their prayers rise for me to unfasten stuck doors, to illuminate wandering steps, and to draw you out of every invisible chain. Understand this as an encouragement. Continue to offer faithful choices even when unseen. One refusal of temptation, one sincere apology, one act of love without agenda, one morning where you choose to pray. All these are answers to the sacred call. These quiet gestures cause heaven to sing and make your name more precious in my eyes. The ancestors do not rise to judge. They rise to celebrate and invite my power to intervene, turning small decisions into channels of blessing. You may ask, what do I desire of you? I desire that you not let yourself be swayed by noise. I desire that you know your worth is not measured by earthly success, but by faithfulness, by humility, and by the love you sow. When you live by these principles, you are answering the call that has been proclaimed in heaven. The ancestors see this and rejoice because such a life shines forth as a testimony for all generations that your faithfulness carries the power to alter destinies. Do not fear when joy seems delayed, or when blessings appear postponed. I move according to the timing of a father, never in haste, yet never forgetful. Some prayers I answer swiftly, others I fulfill in their appointed season, so that when they come, the blessing is more complete than all expectation. The ancestors waited not with anxiety but with trust, for they knew my faithfulness. They beheld the hidden resources, the gifts, in preparation, and in that vision they did not cease to intercede for you. They cried out, Father, make a way for this one. Show this one a sign. Use this one to pour out blessing. And I heard and I responded. My child, when others cannot understand the road you walk, hold fast to the truth that a great cloud of witnesses journeys alongside you. They do not see with human eyes, but with the sight of faith. They do not touch with mortal hands, but with the communion of the Spirit. When you feel lonely, remember the unseen hands that embrace you. When you face trial, remember the prayers that shield you. When you grow weary, remember the whisper echoing through heaven, stand tall. I also want you to recognize the responsibility that comes with this honor. To be named is not merely an accolade, it is a commission. I call you to bear light, and that light must shine through deeds. Use everything I've entrusted, your talent, your time, your heart. Let even the smallest act reflect my goodness. In doing so, the tapestry of your life will not only be beautiful for yourself, but will also become a curtain through which others glimpse my image in you. Beloved, I speak these words to encourage you and to kindle a steady flame within your soul. Nourish your faith with thanksgiving each morning, with surrender in every decision, and with patience when you must wait. The ancestors still stand. They not only call your name, but also bless you and bear witness. They await the season when their cry and my power converge, so that you may step into a journey where your life is no longer your own, but a mission for many. Now lift up this response. Father, use me. Let your heart open, let your hands be ready to serve, and let your eyes always search for my signs. When you answer in this way, I will receive you, I will guide you, and I will complete what I have begun in you, because the promise has been spoken, because the ancestors have risen to intercede, and because I am the one who fulfills every word. Walk forward in joy and courage, for your name is not only written in my book, Your mission is held in my hands, and heaven with me moves to bring that call into a season of overflowing grace. My dear child, hear more, for heaven is watching, and I want you also to see with the eyes of faith. Those who have gone before do not merely perceive the outer weight of your struggles. They discern the inner echoes, the hidden battles you have never spoken aloud. They witness how you wrestle with worry, how you fight to hold faith in nights that feel unending. And they see those small victories, the nearly invisible steps forward, accumulating into the final triumph I have ordained. Child, I want you to know that even when all you see now is dust and wilderness, there are seeds lying dormant. The words you have spoken in secret, the prayers only I have heard, all are recorded and cultivated. The tears you have shed are never wasted. I use them as daytime rain to water the soil of your soul, that the roots of faith may grow deeper into me. Do not despise the whispers of the night. They are the very music awakening the harvest that shall come. I see how you persistently offer the small things a word of gratitude when resources are scarce, an act of forgiveness while your heart still aches, a resolve to rise and pray though your body is weary. Each of those gestures is a seed sown into the soil of faith, and I, as both sower and shepherd, watch over them to ensure that no weed buries what I have planted. The loved ones in heaven rejoice, for they understand the sacred principle: great things frequently begin with small, faithful acts. You may feel discouraged by delay, but I declare waiting is never wasted when it is used to refine faith. In the hours of testing, I am shaping you as a smith tempers, steel fire purges impurity, and every strike of the hammer is a lesson that makes you stronger. The scars you carry will be turned into glory, for through them others will see how I redeem and renew. The ancestors in heaven behold this. They give praise when they see you stand again, even after many falls. Remember that your victory is not meant solely for your own honor. I have placed within you a commission that your life become a source of hope for wandering souls. When you endure, when you hold fast to faith in the midst of the storm, your life becomes living evidence of my faithfulness. People will look upon your journey and know that nothing is hopeless before me, and through that testimony many will be drawn out of darkness. The hosts in heaven exult when they see another life touched by grace because of your patience and trust. Beloved, do not forget, I know the words you dare not speak and the fears you pretend not to have. I see the wishes you tuck away in your heart and the dreams you are afraid to voice. I know every time you blame yourself, every moment you think you are too weak. Yet I also know that such weakness is the gateway to my grace. It is there that my power is most fully revealed. When you bring every lack and every fear before me, I will cover them with my hand, heal them, and transform every disappointment into a story of triumph. Child, your prayers are not forgotten, for they are recorded in my book of life. Those whispers in the late hours are carried by heaven like small candles, lighting the path together. They make a brightness far greater than any earthly lamp. Your tears are evidence of a sincere heart. I use them to intercede for you in the holy place, and I turn that sorrow into a deepening of compassion within you, so that when others hurt, you will know how to share their burden and lift them up. I also want you to see the importance of the hope you have held fast to. That hope is not illusion. It is an anchor planted in the realm of the sacred. When everything seems to collapse, hope keeps you standing. Hope will draw you through the valley of shadows toward the sunny hill. The ancestors in heaven know this. They rejoice when they see you cling to hope, for they know it signals that the harvest season is near. You will encounter signs, but do not seek only the grand ones. Often I bless through small details: a timely word of counsel, the outreached hand of a friend, an unexpected job opportunity, or a moment of peace amid turmoil. Open the eyes of your heart to recognize these favors and give thanks. When you are grateful for the small things, I will multiply them so you may see even greater things. The company of heaven delights when they witness you. Acknowledge each blessing and respond in gratitude, for thankfulness is a door that opens to many more gifts. Hear me, your story is not finished, and it is precisely that incompleteness that compels you to keep walking. The season of harvest is coming, but you must continue to cultivate by keeping faith, acting in love, and living faithfully to the call I have given. Do not let weariness or discouragement stop you from sowing. There are seasons you do not see, but I see, and I am working in secret to bring about an abundant harvest. Let your heart be filled with comfort by these words. I, together with the ancestors in heaven, am interceding, extending arms of protection, and weaving a future for you. Every time you persevere, every word you whisper in the night, every tear that falls, and every moment you choose obedience over complaint, all of it contributes to the symphony of blessing that I and heaven are composing. Keep walking forward, my child. Walk with unwavering faith, for the harvest is near, and I promise there will be great joy to fill your heart to glorify my name and to bring blessings to many. I am the Lord who has seen you since the first tender blades of grass in early spring. I am the one who knows you more deeply than you know yourself. Before the first thought flickered in your mind, I already knew it. Before you uttered a word, I had heard it. Before you took a single step, I had already set the path. My knowledge of you is not shallow like the surface of a stream, but deep as the abyss. Every emotion, every fleeting thought, every hidden wound is within my sight. I see the fears that stir you awake in the middle of the night. I hear the questions you ask yourself but never dare to voice. I know the fragments of memory you have locked away to avoid further pain. I recognize the flaws you mask with a smile. Nothing in you is too small for my attention. Nothing in you is too hidden for me to find. All of it is embraced in the gaze of my love without even a trace of harsh judgment. You have buried dreams in the dark corners of your heart, telling yourself they are too vast, too far removed from reality. But I see them, those seeds of longing, however fragile, carry the power to grow beneath my hand. The desires you are afraid to speak, I have already heard. The aspirations you hesitate to admit, I have stored as treasure. Do not think that an emptiness of dreams within you is a flaw. Sometimes I nurture those small seeds in silence, so that when they grow, you will know they are not yours alone, but meant to bless many. I also know the doubts that slow your steps, the moments when you wonder, have I forgotten you? Are my promises only echoes in the wind? These questions do not startle me. I understand them as a father understands the worries of his child. Instead, I use these very doubts as opportunities to draw you closer, to teach you to place your trust, not on fleeting emotions, but on your relationship with me, on the certainty that I remain faithful through every season. You have feared that you are unworthy, that your mistakes are too great for me to use you. But I declare, my grace is wide enough to embrace every fracture. It is not your perfection that causes me to accept you. It is my faithfulness to my promise. I have chosen you and will use you even in your weakness. The scars you carry are not signs of failure, but testimonies of my restoration, proof that I have renewed you and will turn what seemed lost into treasures of lasting worth. My beloved, I know every tear you have shed in the dark, even the sighs you thought no one could hear. I gather each one and transform them into a river of healing. I use sorrow to plant compassion within you. I use trials to sharpen your character. Every time you fall and rise again, I count it as a victory not measured by the world's standard, but by the measure of spiritual growth. I understand your longing to be recognized, to have a place to be loved without needing to pretend to be strong. I want you to know this. You have already been acknowledged. You already have a place in my heart. You do not need to prove yourself through achievements or through the praises of people, for I love you because you are mine, not because of what you do. Let this very love become the foundation upon which every step of your life is built. I see the things you hide in silence, the desire to serve, the dream of doing good, the longing to be used as a vessel of healing for others. None of these are in vain, even when you lack the resources or when you feel small. I will make your heart into an instrument, and I will bring provision at the appointed time. At times, I need you to wait so that the work is built on solid rock. At other times, I ask you to act immediately with the little that is in your hands, for I measure by faithfulness, not by scale. You may ask, what exactly do you want me to do? I want you to remain sincere, to live in communion with me, so that every decision is illuminated by love and humility. I want prayer to be more than words on your lips. I want it to be the rhythm of your life, a continuous rhythm connecting you with the inexhaustible source. When you allow your spirit to lead, even the smallest choices carry a depth and power you cannot measure. My beloved, listen to what I declare. This is an invitation to step into a deeper dimension of faith, into a relationship that is not confined to habits or petitions, but a wholehearted surrender of your soul. I do not want you to merely believe as a student who memorizes doctrines. I want you to believe with your whole body, mind, and heart, to believe so deeply that every step you take reflects that faith. I am calling you now out of the safety of what is familiar, out of the boat you have clung to, so that you may experience my power in the very act of stepping boldly. Imagine this. The calm waters begin to stir with the wind. The sky grows dim, and yet I say, step out. Not to test you, but to reveal the truth that when your eyes and heart are fixed on me, any place upon the water becomes a place to walk. This step is not without fear. It is precisely why faith is called genuine faith. It exists between trembling and determination. I call you to step out not because of trends, but through a personal invitation, a call to discover that I am strong enough to uphold your steps even when everything around you seems ready to pull you under. You may ask, how can I step forward when my legs are shaking? I say this: take your eyes off the raging waters and look to me. When you look to me more than to your circumstances, your steps will no longer depend on your own strength. I will uphold you, steadying your every move with my presence and grace. Faith does not erase the storm, but it transforms the way you walk through it, from fear into courage, from hesitation into progress. Learn to walk with trust. Surrender your fears to me. Lay your doubts at my feet, and let your heart rest in my promises. I invite you to believe that I am exactly who I have declared myself to be, the faithful one who keeps promises, the steadfast one, unshaken by any change. What I promise is not mere eloquence, it is a covenant bound by eternal love. When I say I will guide you, I keep my word. When I say I will provide, I make my hand present in the very place of lack. Such trust requires you to place yourself fully in my hands, to accept not seeing the whole picture and still moving forward, because you know the one who paints that picture is a Father full of mercy. Let me teach you how to entrust yourself to me. Begin with the smallest acts. Offer me your daily concerns, not only in long prayers but in your little choices. Choose forgiveness instead of resentment. Choose gratitude instead of complaint. Choose service instead of self-preservation. Each time you entrust something small, you are training your soul, preparing it to have the courage to entrust greater things. This is the path faith grows, through each faithful act, not through restless theories. I also call you to step into the authority I bestow. You are my beloved child, and that carries a commission to rise and bring renewal, to speak words of life, to heal through love. That power is not given so you will be proud, but so you will humbly carry out the mission. When you recognize that you have been entrusted, you will no longer shy away from hardship. You will be ready to fight in prayer, ready to speak up for justice, ready to reach out and lift the fallen. This is how my power manifests through your life, not with fanfare but quietly and effectively. You must understand clearly, entrusting is not indifference. Entrusting is an active expression of faith. You engage in steadfast action while placing the outcome in my hands. You labor without becoming enslaved to results. You honor without being dependent on human approval. You contend, yet you know the final victory rests with me. It is this balance that makes your life a symbol of mature faith. Storms may still come, waters may still rise, but I say, do not let them make you collapse. Let every wind be an occasion for you to learn to lean on me more. Let every drop of rain remind you that you are being refined. When your heart is forged by experience, your faith ceases to be merely doctrine and becomes a living reality, a reality able to face failure, hurt, and even ignorance. I also speak about community. I do not want you to be alone as you set sail. Entrusting sometimes requires companions, a helping hand, intercessory voices. Seek brothers and sisters who share your faith to watch over and spur one another forward. When you connect with like-hearted souls, united prayer becomes a force that I use to open doors, to heal, and to guide. Do not withdraw into darkness out of fear. Invite the community to walk with you in prayer and action, for I often perform miracles through the unity of hearts that hunger together. My child, I know you falter at times. I also know you cannot do it alone. That is why I say, child, place your hand in my hand and step. This is not a cold command, but an invitation filled with love. Each time you respond, I will increase courage within you. Each time you yield to entrusting, I will make your steps firmer. And when you stumble, I will not abandon you at the bottom. I will willingly reach down to lift you up, wipe away your tears, and say, the lesson is learned, now go on. In closing, I invite you today, be brave and leave the safety of the boat, not because I want you to fall into danger, but so you may witness the wonder of entrusting. Walk on the water by faith, keep your eyes and heart fixed on me, surrender every fear and receive the authority I grant you as my child. When you answer, not only will you be transformed, those around you will see me through you. Respond, Lord, I surrender all. Then you will embark on a journey where I am with you. Each step will be proof that I am faithful and that my power surpasses every storm. In every battle, in every moment of your suffering, I do not stand apart watching. I enter beside you not as a cold observer, but as a warrior who shields you, as a father who gathers you into his arms when the tempest rages. Let that image sink deep into your heart. I am your protection, your stronghold, the refuge you run to when the world offers no shelter. When fear drags you down and complaints threaten to overwhelm your mind, I am there to turn your cries into words of thanks, to transform your worries into lessons. I spread my arms like a wide canopy and place you beneath the shelter of my wings. There is a safety there, not bestowed by the world, but upheld by eternal love that resists every oppression. You are not alone in the dark. One watches your every step, supports each breath you take, and whispers peace into your heart when you think you will fall. I do not shelter you from a distance. I fight on your behalf. In moments when you have no strength, I charge forward. When you have no words, I speak for you. I confront the invisible enemies and the forces that make you afraid. You are not required to bear arms yourself. You may lay them down and let me take responsibility. And when I declare victory, you are invited to join in praise, for that victory is both a gift to you and a testimony to my love and power. Remember, I hold you in the palm of my hand, not a cold hand, but hands patient and gentle, familiar with every scar upon your flesh. Each time you tremble, I touch that place with a word of comfort. Each time you bend, I steady you with the strength of my protection. I keep you not by coercion, but by a love that reassures you to entrust yourself. Under that covering, you may rest and be healed, so that you rise again stronger. You may wonder, if you are with me, why do I still suffer? Beloved, pain is not evidence that I have abandoned you. Rather, in trial, I am present more deeply. I use challenges as the whetstone of faith, not to destroy, but to reveal the beauty forged by refinement. When you endure the storm with me, you learn to discern what is true and what is false. You experience that even in the most shattered season, there is a hand arranging the fragments into a new picture. I declare that I will not depart from you, not because you deserve it, but because of the covenant I have sworn. My love for you is not determined by circumstances. It is steadier than your understanding. When you cry out, I hear. When you are silent from despair, I do not forget. You may lay every burden on my shoulders. Let me carry them lightly, and I will return to you legs strong enough to continue the journey. I am also a refuge when the whole world turns away. Imagine a fortress where you are shielded, where no arrow of envy can pierce. That fortress is me. You may run to that place at any time. No need for announcement, no need to hide your wounds. I welcome you with an open heart. There you will hear the whisper. You are safe. You are loved. You are saved. Let that word sink into every cell so that fear loses its power. I am also the source of strength for you to rise and rescue others. When I shelter you, I do not keep you for yourself alone, but to make you a place of peace for others. You are entrusted with a gentle responsibility. Reach out to lift the fallen, share warmth with the cold, announce hope to the lost soul. I give you strength not to puff you up with pride, but to make you a humble instrument of grace. Every loving action you do reflects my hand at work in the world. When the darkness appears thick, do not let your physical eyes deceive your heart. Lift your vision to the sacred realm, where I am at work. Some miracles do not break out with clamor. They appear quietly like a shoot pushing through the soil. You have not seen everything yet, but I have seen, and I am guiding the steps that will bring you into blessing. Trust that process even when you hold only a small piece of the plan. Know also that I do not remove responsibility from you. My protection is not an excuse to step back. On the contrary, it is the stage on which your courage is displayed. When I stand beside you, you are invited to act love more boldly, pray with greater perseverance, serve with fuller devotion. At times, I place you in difficult circumstances not to harm you, but to refine you into a useful instrument for the work I am doing on the earth. Finally, my beloved, do not let the fear of falling silence you. I declare I will not let you fall forever. When you stumble, I take your hand. When you lose your way, I redirect your steps. When you are paralyzed by fear, I breathe new life into your soul. Let this word be the lamp to guide your path. I am with you. I fight for you. I keep you close within my heart. Respond by living a courageous and united life, so that every step you take proves you truly trust me, and that even in the storm you remain steadfast beneath my covering wings. I am about to unveil the pages of life written before you, the witnesses in heaven whose names resound in harmony with your own. They once walked through deserts, endured long nights of hardship, tasted failure, and stumbled often. Yet in the midst of such trials I wove a different story. A story of transformation, healing, and testimony to my power. Today I invite you to receive those stories as torches lighting the way for your own journey. Hear this: their lives were not without turbulence, nor were they free from pain. There were days they longed for a sign, nights when they felt ready to let go, and moments when it seemed every door was sealed shut. But I walked with them. I did not erase their scars. Instead, I stitched them with grace, turning wounds into part of a greater song of triumph. None of their struggles were wasted. They were shaped, refined, and transformed into depth, into compassion, into a living testimony for souls in need of hope. Look closely. Some stood at the very edge of despair, yet a gentle whisper from me pierced the night like a ray of light, and their entire direction changed. Some lost honor, possessions, and relationships, yet I rebuilt their lives from broken pieces. And when they turned back to see their past, they recognized not only pain but the clear trace of my hand. Some thought themselves too small to be of use, but I chose them as vessels to display my power through their humility and faithfulness. Do not overlook the simple things. Many of the stories inscribed in heaven began with a quiet prayer, a choice to look upward in the storm, or a small act of sincerity. Those who came before you sowed through what seemed like little things a word of forgiveness, while the heart still ached, a meal given to the hungry, a night's sleep, surrendered to guard a brother, a whispered prayer in the dark. All these became a chain of blessing. I used to open wide doors for them, and I want you to know that those same seeds are now placed in your hands. My child, I do not recount their stories to stir comparison, but to awaken faith within you. If I worked wonders in them, before I am still the same, one today, this very morning, in this very hour. The history of grace does not end. My promises do not fade. What I accomplished for them, altering paths, opening doors, thoughts shut, lifting the downtrodden to seats of honor, I am ready to do in your life as well. This is an invitation, not a command. I invite you to place your trust in me and walk forward together with me. Let me make clear how I work. I do not disrupt your schedule with loud spectacles designed for human applause. Often I work through humble hands, through gentle voices, through daily perseverance. I paint their lives slowly with new colors, not hurriedly but with endurance. I untie knots one by one. I restore torn fragments piece by piece, and I position them exactly where my glory can shine. You will see this same pattern unfold in yourself as you remain patient and keep your heart faithful. And know this: I do not choose people because they are perfect. Those I use are often marked by failure, yet they dare to lift their heads to learn and to believe. They are not without fear, but they have learned to place that fear beneath my feet. They are not without doubt, yet they will not allow doubt to take residence in their hearts. They offer me their weakness, and I transform that weakness into the place where my power is revealed, so that no portion of the glory belongs to them, but all the glory returns to me. If you wonder how to enter into that current, the answer always comes back to one thing: communion. Those who have gone before kept fellowship with me through a life of prayer, grateful hearts, attentive listening, and obedient small steps. They learned to pray not as a habit, but as a breath. They let my word illuminate their choices and let my love guide their actions. When you live this way, you too will see me intervene, not in ways you control, but in ways that build and in ways that are exquisitely gentle. I also want you to know that the stories I tell in heaven are not only victories for the one I used, they become a legacy for the next generation. Those who preceded you handed down faith, courage, and costly lessons. When I change one life, I do not save only an individual. I use that life to reach the souls it touches. That is why I invite you. Your life is not merely for you to live, but for me to use you as a channel of blessing for others. Beloved, I want you to respond with a renewed resolve. Walk with humility, yet with courage. Believe that I can and will rewrite the sorrowful pages of your life. Let the saints in heaven be your encouragement, not the measure that makes you shrink back. Learn from them patience, gratitude, and bravery in trials. And remember, when I call you, I do not promise a path without thorns. I promise that I will walk with you through those thorns, and that in the end I will bring you into a season of abundant harvest. In conclusion, dear one, I declare, open your hands to receive the story I am writing for you. What I have done for those who went before is only the beginning of what I desire to accomplish in you. Let your faith be kindled by their examples. Let your heart be woven from the lessons they left behind. And let your life, like theirs, become a living testimony to my love, power, and faithfulness. You have a part in the machinery of grace. Cooperate with me, and I will write a memorable story, not only for you, but for multitudes. Thank you for listening to this message. Know that you are not merely an audience, you are one chosen to live in the presence of God's Word each day. Don't forget to hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any sacred messages. Amen.